Hello, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another energy reading for the month of November 1st, 2021. We are here, we made it. Hallelujah. So, I don't know about you guys, but I know myself, I have been called into this place of integration. Big time, like massive integration. So lots of things coming in for me. I know for the past couple of years, I have been building my spiritual business. I have been sharing all of my teachings with everyone I've been in contact with, all my clients, everyone I meet, here with you. And then I guess I've been ignoring the telltale signs that I needed to slow down. And so my body made me. So now I'm in a place of integration and I'm taking a step back and I'm slowing things down and I'm feeling so much better, so much better. So just really tuning into what I need for me and giving myself enough space for it all to kind of happen, right? So if you're feeling that, let me know, put it in the comments. Let me know how your October was. I know for me, October was pretty mind-blowing, to say the least. But yeah, so that's why I really wanted to hop on and still share. I may not be taking clients at this time, but I still am sharing the messages that I'm getting and the information that's coming through, because that's the most important thing. Is just, I feel if we are connected enough to get the messages, they're going to come through no matter what. And what I've been noticing for me personally, I don't know about you, let me know in the comments if you've been noticing this too, but whenever I'm in a pickle, let's say, right? I'm having some problems with something in my life and I just throw it out to the universe. I'm like, how am I supposed to get through this? What is the next step? What am I supposed to do, right? What I start noticing is the conversations that I have with people, or the algorithms of my social network, like Facebook, Instagram, they all somehow, by manipulation of the universe, start showing me things that I need to hear, right? So start showing me things. Karen comes on. Oh, hi, Karen. Thanks so much for coming on. Can you pull a card for me? I'm needing direction. Absolutely. Yes. And that's good. Another thing, if you guys are on live, I am going to be pulling a card for you. So put your question in there in the comments. If there's, if you just need direction or guidance or general, let me know that. If there's something specific that you want to know, also put that in the comments. Okay. I'm going to be pulling cards for you guys, and then we'll be getting into the actual energy reading. So yeah, basically, just time for integration. Time, that was my own personal thing, but you might be experiencing something different. Whatever it is, we're all going to get through it, right? And that's the main thing. It's just understand that everything is temporary, that everything changes no matter what, all the time. And if you're feeling stagnant, it's only because you've been making the same choice over and over again, right? So it's a matter of realizing that A, you're feeling stagnant, B, that the stagnation is telling you that you're not making any changes, that you think you might be changing. You might be doing the same thing in a different way, but it's still the same thing. So stagnation is key to realizing of you're moving ahead to the next step, right? Okay. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to start pulling cards for people, and then I will tap into the energies of the month, and I'll let you know the messages that I came through. I do want to let you know that lately I have been connecting more with Palladian energy. Now, Palladians, it's a constellation far, far out. The Pleiades, if you're not familiar with them, they are very loving, benevolent beings with this highest form of just light and it just beauty, and they are here to help us. So, I've been tapping into them, so I've also asked them for some guidance. So I do have a message from the Pleiadians as well, just to kind of help you along where you're at, right? So, okay, so Karen said she wanted to pull a card first, needing some direction. Okay, so I'm tapping into my Divine Energy Oracle deck. We're gonna ask from the Divine Energies. I'm also gonna start connecting to your energy, Karen. What direction? cards are flipping up. Wake up call. Wake up call. Do you feel like you've had a wake up call recently, Karen? Like something is trying to tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, this is the way, this is what you want, but you're not seeing it. But it's only because you're so stuck in wanting to see it that you can't. It's like the wanting to see it, the need. It's the need. It's like this fear-based driven need that you have to see it. Otherwise, things are going to fall apart, right? That is the very thing creating the brick wall that's getting in your way, right? So just let that down and let it go. Just, you've already asked. The ask is out there. The ask is already there, right? So have faith, which is interesting because that's the next card that came out for you, Karen, was have faith that you've already asked. You've done the step one. You've asked for what you want. You noticed the contrast. You noticed that you needed something different. You needed the direction, but you can't see it because you want it so badly. So just have faith. Just let it go. Go about your days. Do things that you would normally do. Get wrapped up in the day-to-day life. Get grounded in your body. Get grounded in where you are and what's going on. And just leave it alone. And you're going to notice. It's going to trickle in. That's the thing. Is that we don't get everything that we want all at once. That's the biggest thing. Is that you're going to get little tidbits here and there. But if you're not paying attention, if you're not aware enough, you're going to miss those tidbits. And those are breadcrumbs leading you in the direction. So you've been getting these breadcrumbs. So if you think back, I would say just like over the last couple of weeks even, what kind of tidbits have you been noticing? And how does it relate to the direction that you want to go? That's the very start of you bringing down those walls of needing it so badly. Right? So if this makes sense, let me know. But it's just your wake-up call. It's your wake-up call to become grounded and to settle into your three-dimensional body. Because when we're stuck in the 4D or mental plane, we can go anywhere with it, right? And it can be dangerous sometimes because it can lead us down paths that we don't want to go down. It's like this multi-prism where there's one thought, but then there's millions of offshoots where that thought can go, right? So if you get sucked down one of those offshoots, those are the rabbit holes. And if you've been noticing that you've been getting stuck down those rabbit holes, just start stepping back and saying, get grounded and settle into your day-to-day life. All right? Okay. Now, I also see that, John, should I go the detox path or the yoga path with TherapyNet? That's a very interesting question, John. Why not all of them? Why do you have to pick just one? Because the thing is, from anything that I've learned on my spiritual journey, it's not just one thing that's taught me everything that I need to know, right? So John, if you are having this question, this epiphany, like, I want to go this, but I want to do that, and I want to do that. You know what I do? And my husband hates this, but when I go shopping and I find things that I need, I'm like, or want, I'm like, I want these all variations. I buy them all. Do the same thing. If you can't do it all at once, I wouldn't suggest doing it all at once, but give yourself permission to do it all. Why limit yourself? Why put yourself in this place where it's like you can pick and choose which one you want to do first? Which one are you more drawn to, right? That's the thing. You really got to tune into, okay, what am I feeling right now? What's going to, really get me into the place where I want to go? What do you want to achieve with doing these things, right? You want to do the detox path, the yoga path. What are you trying to achieve, John, from doing this stuff, right? That's the thing. And so just tuning into that, I'll also pull a card for you and see what the cards have to say. But I have a feeling that that's kind of what it is. Oh, okay. Here, John. Imagine solutions. That's what your guides are telling you. Imagine it. Imagine what you want to get out of it. Imagine where that's going to take you. Imagine where that's going to go. And half the time, imagination is only a little bit of it, right? It's only a little bit. It's enough to get you moving in that direction, but you have to take the actionable steps to get you there. So, like I said, do all three. Do all four. Do all five. Whatever things you're contemplating. Just don't do it all at once. That's all. All right. I hope that that resonates with you. All right. So next we have Britta. Hi, Britta. Thanks so much for coming on. She says, I go with whatever comes my way. What is all of the gift of learning grows? Oh, that, okay. I see what you mean. I go the mist calming path I can go. Do you have a question, Britt? Or I'm not sure. I know that you're going down this calming path. I know that you're actually shedding a lot of layers to yourself right now, aren't you? I'm so parched. Just a second. Britt, let me know if you want me to pull a card for you. If there's a specific question that you want, I'm more than happy to look into that for you. I'm just going to give you a few moments there. Oh, thanks so much for the love, John. Right back at you. All right. I'm assuming you want a card because you did message. I'm just not sure what you wanted to pull a card. Okay. Well, we'll just pull one for you, Britt, and see what comes up, okay? All right. There it is. It fell down. Just a sec. All right. The first card that came out was Become a Clear Channel. Become a clear channel. So if you're, Brett, if you want to connect to the divine, if you want to connect to this place of peace and serenity, if that's what you want to bring calm into your life, you got to go within, right? So becoming a clear channel is the practice of what you're doing right now. Actually, that's kind of what you're doing, is clearing out all of the stuff that doesn't work for you anymore. That all the people, the stories, the beliefs, the things that you would tell yourself all the time, right? Whatever that you don't connect with, whatever brings you down, whatever makes you feel like, either look into it and say, what's the purpose of that? Why is that necessary in my life? Is it necessary, or is it something that can be cleared, right? And just kind of do that piece by piece, slowly, and you'll become more of a clear channel in order for anything that you need to come in, right? The next one was Claim Your Art. Claiming your art is basically stepping into your creative expression, whatever things that you express yourself through voice, through art, through sound, through whatever creative sources. If you knit, if you paint, if you, if you share stories with people, that's your art. That is you claiming what you do best. And you'll know it by what you feel when you go and do these things, right? So claiming your art is really stepping into this place where you can just be you, and you don't have to fake it. You don't have to feel like you put on a show. You don't have to feel like you are, you're not trying to prove anything to anybody. You do you. That's it, right? So I hope that makes sense. If you want to become a clear channel, that's what you need to tap into. Tapping into that energy, right? That's what it's all about. All right. So who is next? I'm just going to go back up here. I know Britt and Amelia. Hi, Amelia. Thanks so much for coming on. I'd love a card when everyone else is done. For sure. Okay, so Amelia, I'm going to bring on a card for you. Let me know if you're still here. And then I have Janine. Hello, Janine. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card for Amelia. Is there anything specific, Amelia, that you want to know about? Or is it just a general? Thank you so much, Britt. You are very welcome. I hope that made sense to you, but I feel that it did. And I feel like you're kind of on that path already. You just needed that reassurance, right? That's all it really was. All right. Okay, Amelia, what do you need to know right now? I'll give you a minute. Just let me know if it's just general or if there's something specific that you want to look into. That's always fun. Britt says, yes, it did. Correct. Good. Good. So go out there and become that clear channel, right? All right, Amelia, I'm going to pull cards for you. Let me know. I'll keep an eye on the comments if you wanted something specific. Okay. Interesting. Okay, Amelia, you are here. Okay. I'm just pulling. Whoop. Oh, this card that popped out came out with force. So let's see what it is. Oh. Huh. Okay. So, Amelia, just general. Gotcha. Well, here's the thing. The first card that came out was have faith. Have faith in where you're at right now. Because if you're experiencing something that has been kind of troublesome or has been kind of like a perpetual link that's been kind of repeating and repeating itself, it's interesting because the second card, I'm just going to just tell you this now. It says do something different. So having faith means that this repetitive cycle that you've been in for who knows how long is a cycle because it's telling you that there's something that's unresolved there, right? It's kind of pointing. It's like this sign that's saying, hey, you know, like there's something unresolved here. There's something, go within, go beneath, go underneath the obvious, because the obvious is the surface stuff. The obvious is the things that people are saying and doing, right, around you, and the things that you're getting hurt and triggered by. So having faith that there's a reason for all of this happening and that it's repeating because you haven't done something different. Now, I want you to tune into what is that something different that I can do in this scenario. Now, it's really going to be a practice of being consciously aware of when you get triggered, right? Yeah, you say, ooh, yes, definitely something unresolved. Right, because your guides are saying you're supposed to do something different. So think about the triggers that have been triggering you, pissing you off, getting under your skin, kind of just pushing you in the wrong direction. It's all for a reason. It's all, and by the way, it's something that you've contracted into your soul contract. This is a part of your soul blueprint. This is a part of your karmic patterns that we're clearing right now. So in order to clear your karmic patterns, we have to be aware and let them come up to be seen. But the thing is, you know what I've noticed about me personally, when I get trapped in the karmic pattern, like I get sucked into the emotions and start playing out on the emotions when I'm not aware of it, when I'm not conscious of it, right? But then as soon as you become conscious of it, then that's when you can start noticing the karmic patterns, the things that are tripping you up, the things that you've repeatedly done over and over again. Think about something that happened and think about the reaction that you had, right? The first impulsive, it's like that knee-jerk reaction, right? That is ingrained into your body because you've done it time and time again, lifetime after lifetime with these same people, by the way. So when you're in that instance, when you're in that place, the biggest thing is becoming consciously aware, like, okay, I'm getting triggered right now. This is something that I'm really, really bothered by. What do I usually do? How do I usually react? If you would usually run and hide, you've got to step out and face it, right? If you would go and confront this person or this situation, then you got to retreat back and you got to kind of, you got to do the opposite, do something different in a slightly different way. And you are going to get slightly different results. Now, it's not going to change completely like a 180. It could, great. But if it doesn't, that's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. What you really need to know about it is that you've done something different to change the karma, right? Amelia says, my sister and I got into a fight. I feel like this is relevant. Ooh, interesting, right? And our sisters in this lifetime, I know I have plenty of them. I have 4. They are there to trigger us. They're the ones who love us the most, but they're also the ones that hurt us the most, but it's contracted in. That's the thing, is that we keep missing it because we think that they're really doing it to us when they're really doing it for us. And we don't realize it because we get triggered and we fall into the trigger. Instead of falling into the trigger, you sit back and say, okay, this pissed me off. Why? Why am I reacting this way, right? And I'm not okay with it, how it went down, right? Okay, so how can you reframe that? If you're not okay with how it went down, you may not be able to obviously change what had happened, right? But you can reframe it. You can change it in your own way. It's just a matter of doing something different. That's it. All right. So I hope that makes sense. I hope you got something out of that. I hope that it, I'll be curious about the triggers. That's what I've learned too, is like whenever I get pissed off, or if I get something, if I feel really bad, or if I feel really scared or fearful of something, or just reactive in any way, it starts to be, just start a habit of A, catching yourself, B, saying, okay, I'm reacting this way. How can I change that? How can I shift that? How am I viewing this? What thoughts am I telling myself about the scenario that's making me feel this way? Boom. That's it. If you want to rewatch that, I would definitely listen to that again. All right. Next, I am going to, I think it was Janine. But you're very welcome, Amelia. Thank you so much for asking that, because that was very interesting. Triggers, and that's the thing too, is I feel like this information that I'm sharing with specific people, I'm pulling specific cards for people, but the information, if you connect with it in any way, it's also for you too. If you can relate to that in any way, the advice that I'm giving, it's not only for Amelia, it's also for whoever else is connecting with that message and saying, oh, I have that issue too. Oh, I've had that problem too, right? And you're here to listen to these messages, right? All right. Okay. Let's see who is next. Boom. Definitely gonna. Yeah, I know, right? Whew, I just got chills. I got truth bumps. Okay. I'm just going back through the messages. Janine, are you still here? I think you are next, right? I just saw your message, Amelia. I signed this contract. Yeah, you did. So your job is to find out why. Anyway, all right. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Amelia. Oh, Janine. Yes. Okay, good. So Janine, if you have any specific questions, or if you want just general information guidance, let me know. I'm going to start clearing the deck, clearing the energy, disconnecting and reconnecting with Janine's energy. Janine, what do you need to know? What do you want to know? What kind of guidance do you feel you need right now? Let me know in the comments if it's just general or if it's something specific. I'll start shuffling, asking for your guides to, woo! Okay, I have two cards that fell down. Okay, so I'm assuming that you just wanted something general, Janine. So unless there's something specific, like I said, we can put it in the comments. But what came out for you, I got 3 cards actually that popped out. The first one was guidance. Okay. The first guidance for you, Janine, is to admit your vulnerabilities. Admit that you're scared. Admit that you have no idea. Admit that sometimes you're just pretending like you're doing things, right? So admitting your vulnerabilities allows you to be human, right? We're all spiritual beings. We all have this guidance system. We all have this place inside of us that can tell us these things. But if our pride and our ego get in the way, we can't be vulnerable. And if we can't be vulnerable, then we miss the guidance altogether, right? So admitting something about yourself, admitting a mistake, admitting a failure, allowing ego to be bruised a little, be humbled a little. That is what is coming through. The next card that came out was to trust the divine plan. So like I was saying with Amelia, before we come into this lifetime, we all create contracts, right? Whether you believe it or not, this is just something that I believe. And I've found out it to be true many, many times in all of my work, that we create this life to learn specific things. And general, like there's free will, right? So that's like the gambling part, right? We can gamble with our lives because we have free will. So we forget what we created. We forget why we created it. We just go about our days and doing things la-di-da. And then every once in a while, the universe likes to remind us that there's a divine plan and you are going through this experience for a reason. So there's something also that came out was to take the lead. So taking the lead is just that, is going where you haven't been shown, going to a place where it's off the beaten path. It's your own way of experiencing life, right? Taking the lead and trusting that there's a plan and then just doing it. And everything will get revealed to you in bits and pieces. That's why it's really good to keep a journal, because then you can kind of keep track of A, what's been happening, B, you know, you can kind of take a look at how it's been happening and how things have been coming in and why you're being called to be vulnerable right now. I feel that you're very quiet. I don't know you, I've never met you, but I feel that you are a very quiet person, that you kind of keep to yourself, and that you don't feel like you want to share things with people because it would almost make you look weak. I don't know if it's weak or smaller than or diminished in some way. So you kind of want to hold that facade, but it's not trusting the plan. It's not trusting where you need to be. It's not trusting that. So kind of take a look back at what's been going on. Even kind of take a snapshot. I find it's always good to take a snapshot like a month behind, right? So a month ago till versus now, what is it that has been calling you to be vulnerable? What are some instances in your life that you've been asked to be vulnerable? Now, this is not like directly asking. It's just you've been given situations where you could be humbled and your ego can maybe take a back seat, right? So let me know if this makes sense. Let me know if you connect with this information, but that is what the cards came out. So admitting your vulnerability, right? Take the lead, whatever you need to do, go off that beaten path, do things that are non-conventional. Don't be afraid to just do you. Do whatever you want. Whatever you've been wanting to do it. Take the lead on that. And then trust the plan. All right. So that is the information that came through for you. I hope that helps you in some way. All right. So now that everyone has had a card, I am now going to go into the actual energy reading for the month of November. So now I know I've usually I used to do the energy readings weekly, but like I said, I'm taking a step back now and I'm allowing myself to integrate everything that I have been learning on my path right now. And so these energy readings, they are going to give you guidance and messages that are going to be pertaining to the lessons that you're going to be coming up with facing in the month of November. So I have asked for specific guidance. Oh, Janine says, yes, it does make so much sense. Thank you. You're very welcome. I'm glad that you were able to connect with that. All right. So the energy reading of this month, November. The good news is the energies are increasing. That is good because our vibrational state of being, our frequency, how our energy runs in our body, how we relate to the energies is increasing. It's coming up. Everything is increasing at this time. And that gives us a really good advantage because what's happening is that things are manifesting, coming into fruition so much more faster than they used to, right? Manifestation is huge right now and it's only going to get better. And the more and more we work on ourselves, the more and more we clear our mental constructs, these beliefs that we've had given ourselves, we've picked up along the way into this now time in history of human evolution, right? We're in this place where karmic patterns are coming to an end. We don't need them anymore. It's not necessary. So that's good news, right? So what does that mean? If the karmic patterns don't relate anymore, if they don't have any use, then what do we do with them? Because we still have them, right? We came into this life with karmic patterns and people that we relate to. Well, what we're doing is clearing them. And that's what's really coming through right now. So I asked the guides and the higher self, I said, what is the energy of November asking us to do, right? And what came up was tuning into what you need right now. All that's important is your energy, focusing on you and your needs. And it's not selfish, because as soon as you are taking care of you, there's this outpouring. You have more energy, right? You're filling your well. You're allowing yourself to rebuild yourself enough that then you don't have to use your personal resources anymore. You can then start tapping into a higher energy form that is an infinite energy source, right? But until you can clear all the mind baggage, all the problems, all the issues, all the karmic creations that you've made over time, and if you can clear all that, then you're going to start noticing more clarity, more connection, more intuitiveness, right? Intuitive place. And you're going to start seeing the other side of the veil. The other side of the veil is what has been hidden from humanity for hundreds of thousands of years. But this is now returning since the time of Atlantis. Now, I don't know if you, hands in the air or in the comments, put a hand in the comment, if you have been called to, if you've been kind of having an interest in researching Atlantis and Lemuria. If you have been feeling called or really interested or really piqued interest with Lemuria and Atlantis, it means that there was a connection there. And there's some, right now, with the karmic patterns ending and clearing, yeah, right, Amelia, you've been called to study Atlantis? Yeah, hey? I know, I have been too. And it comes and goes. That's the thing, is it comes and goes, and I get really interested, and then I get bored of it, and then I get this inkling and come back to it, and it's just these waves of interest. That's the only way I can describe it. But it's because you're clearing those patterns that were created at that time. And now that we're coming into this point of evolution where now we're shifting into the 5D consciousness, now we are going to be clearing out all of that baggage, right? But we have to do it consciously, and we have to want to do it. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. It's not a necessity, but if you want to feel better, that's the way to do it, right? So clear it all out. I want to study the Pleiadians. Yeah, you know what? It's it's interesting because, like I said, I've been connecting a lot with Pleiadian energies and messages, things like that, over the past couple of weeks, and the things that have been coming through, the messages that I hear are just so dead on into where I'm at in my life right now that I'm just like, okay, this is where I'm supposed to go. Like, you get those aha moments. That means that you've checked another thing off of your contract. You've checked another thing off your list of to-do list in this lifetime, which is so awesome, which is really, really encouraging, to say the least, right? Right? So, and I actually have a message from the Pleiadians that it's very loving, but we will get to that. And it's very direct, let's just say that. Okay, so I'm just tapping into the messages that I got before coming on. So in order to be more connected, you must shift the focus from the external. So a lot of the times we're focusing on things outside of us that we want, right? Material things. Amelia says, talking about missing home because it no longer exists, and feeling like that my whole life. Yeah, I know, right? And that's okay, because home is really where the heart is. And that's a saying that I've learned to be true, because wherever you put your love is where you're gonna feel at home, right? So you have a beautiful son, right? You have a beautiful home, and just cultivate that love. Let that grow. Tend to that garden and allow that to bring you the happiness that you're looking for. Because the message, like I was just getting into here, it says, in order to be more connected, you must shift your focus from the external materialistic things and focus on rebuilding your energy from within. So that kind of touches on what I was talking about earlier, how, you want to build up your own energy reserve within yourself. Like, you have your own personal energy, and then you have source energy, right? But the trick is learning to tap into source energy so you don't have to deplete your own personal well. That is something that I'm personally focusing on myself right now. And I can tell you that it's through the energy work that I've done that it's really helped me to kind of get a sense of what that energy even feels like to begin with, right? So learning things like Reiki or light language or Qigong or any kind of energy modality really will help you connect with that energy more to get a sense of A, what it feels like, and B, what it feels like to work with it, and what it feels like to work from a place of using that energy, so the higher energy versus your own personal energy and your own reserve, right? So it's just basically shifting the focus, being more consciously aware of what you are searching for to make you happy, right? You cannot be you can't be dependent on external things to make you happy, because that happiness doesn't work, right? It's a happy in the moment, but then it's not building you up. It's not building that well. So it's a matter of just shifting the focus and focusing on what it feels like to have that connection with that higher source of energy, right? So how you do that, you connect with your solar plexus. So your solar plexus is right below your heart chakra, right at the bottom of your rib cage, right? So this is where you have your willpower, your confidence, certainty, right? Self-assuredness. These are all things, as soon as you're able to activate those feelings of willpower, confidence, self-assuredness, certainty, as soon as you get those activated, everything else just kind of comes in, right? You don't have to be fearful anymore. You don't have to worry about things so much, right? You just have faith that things are just going to happen the way they're supposed to happen, because we're in this game that we've created from our own mind projection. Boom. That's crazy, but it's true. And you know what? Don't take anything that I say for truth. Honestly, I say that because I've had to learn with my own discernment. I've had to pick and choose what I believe to be true for me. Whatever I connect with is what I kind of follow, right? So I want you to do the same. I don't want you to take everything that I say as truth, look into it for yourself and see, how does that relate to you? How does that relate to yourself, right? So moving into that high heart. So we have the heart chakra, and then our thymus is right above it. And that is our high heart chakra. So this is where you're going to connect with the infinite love. Like there's this place of love that you can open up and expand upon. And that's where you start then activating your own inner power. This place of, it's like a nonstop well of energy, right? So it's through this heart center and your solar plexus is where those energies are going to start activating, right? And it's one step at a time. It's not going to all happen at once because it would just be too overwhelming, and it's not in the creation. It's not a part of the divine plan to happen that way. So that's kind of good news, right? We know that everything's going to happen in bit by bit. We're going to move up the ladder slower and slower, but it's also going to help us release these karmic patterns, right? And in order to release karmic patterns, now I'm going to get into the message that I got from the Pleiadians when I was connecting with them this over the past couple of weeks. And my biggest takeaway from my interactions with the Pleiadian energy is the biggest thing that they said that humans do, and that is a detriment and it's not necessary, is to stop arguing for your limitations. Stop fighting people and telling them what you can't do. No, I can't do that because of this. Or I can't get into that place in my life where I want to go because of this is in my way. You know what? That you're just fighting. You're fighting. You're pushing this fear-based, driven energy to argue for something that really doesn't exist. It's only a construct of your mind. It's something that's made up, something you've told yourself and convinced yourself repeatedly over time. So it's a belief that you've created, most likely in childhood, that you've taken with you through to your life, and you tell yourself, no, I can't advance in life. I'm not worth it. I don't qualify for that, right? Or I can't do that because of my own limitations, whatever it is, right? Notice, be aware. That's the biggest thing, is be aware of when you are arguing for your limitations. Because when you start arguing for your limitations, you're being triggered. You are. You're trying to defend your place, right? You're trying to defend this place of limits, of scarcity, of what I can't do. But what about what you can do? That's the thing. And everything, I can't do it because it's hard, or I can't do it because I've never done it before. Well, I'm going to tell you something. What I've learned in my path is that you can do pretty much anything you want. It's just a matter of shifting your thinking about it. What do you tell yourself about this thing that you can't do? Why are you convincing yourself that you don't want to do it? Is it afraid that if you do it, then you have nothing more to give? Or is there nothing more to work towards? Or is there nothing that is more going to be pushing you to where you want to go? Right? But the thing is that you really got to tap into when you start arguing for your limitations, because things are going to be hard. Absolutely. But the thing is that we forget is that we can do hard things. You can accept that when something is hard, that's okay. It's only because you've never done it before. You've never taken the time to teach yourself. And the thing is that we are here to learn. So no matter what you have not done or don't think you can do, you can if you want it. That's the thing. And sometimes people argue for their limitations because they actually don't want something. And that's okay. And you got to be aware of that too. Like, what are you tapping into? What is it that you're telling yourself that you don't want to do or you want to do just to make other people happy? Are you trying to make other people happy, or is it that you just don't want to do it, right? You got to look at the whole reason behind why you're arguing for the limitations, why you're arguing for the fear-based side of things. Okay, so I hope this all makes sense. I hope that you guys resonate with this information. Basically, for the month of November, what you want to really look at is how can you build yourself your own well up, right? Fill your cup energetically. What is going to make your life easier is acknowledging that things can be hard and accepting where you are, accepting that things are hard, but you can do it anyway. Right? So Amelia says, excuses are lies you tell yourself that no one else believes. Yeah, right? But you do. Well, you try to. That's the thing. We try to convince ourselves of that. So really just, tapping into your own energy well, tapping into building yourself up, giving yourself the time and space that you need to allow yourself to look at the hard things that are happening in your life so you can clear them. Just put the baggage down. Be like, look at all the things that are pissing you off in your life or making it hard for you and say, why am I carrying this? Why is this necessary? Is it necessary? And then put it down. It's a practice, so you have to keep putting it down a number of times. So don't worry if you feel like you're all of a sudden, I put it down yesterday and then, oh my God, here it is again today. It's because you've built up a habit of picking those problems up, right? So now it's creating a new habit of putting them down. So do that for this entire month. I will tune in through the group in the Facebook group, and we'll help you throughout the month and see what comes up next month. So I will see you again in December. All right. So I send you so much love, so much light, and fill those wells up. Fill those wells so you can clear that space and love yourself again. Accept where you are so you can move forward and change where you're going. All right? Mwah. Take care. Much love. Take care. Bye.